Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome, friends. All right, so we are going to kick off this excellent event in honor of Monique, in honor of her launch for the House seat for Bradford Fairley and West Fairley. We're going to get started with some remarks. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Jill Barron. I'm a friend of Monique's. I live here in Bradford, and I have been appointed her campaign manager. So, yes, I know, I feel powerful, but really Monique does all the work. So, I'm sure you're not surprised. So it gives me such pleasure to welcome you into the space today, to celebrate Monique, to get her going on this really exciting venture. We need Monique in the house. We need exactly the kind of person that Monique just is, right? Monique is a connector. How many of you in this room has Monique helped connect to people or resources or just social life, like business life? I mean, so many things. She's just an amazing human. We're so lucky to have her in this town and in this region. And so I just cannot think of a better person to represent me and us in Montpelier. So I'm really honored to be part of your campaign. And I'm just so happy to be here and have you all. So just a couple quick reminders of what we're doing here today. We are kicking off the campaign and getting it going, but I'm also inviting you and reminding you that we can't do this campaign without your support, and that could be in the form of volunteering for door knocking or parade marching. If anyone has like a great truck they want to lend, that would be great. We're also very happy to welcome financial contributions because, as I'm sure you know, all of the mailers, the yard signs, the parade festivities, the meet and greets, the food, the everything costs money. And so we really want to do this right and, influence and inspire many more people than are in this room already to join the campaign. So please do your part if you can. Okay, so I am now going to turn this over to, we're going to hear from a few speakers. Nancy Jones, who I think is nearby. And then Nancy will hand the mic over to Carl Demrow. Can I see Carl's hand? Yay, Carl. And then we're going to hear from Sarah Copeland-Hanzas. Yes, we all know Sarah. So, okay, without further ado, Nancy.
So I have known Monique for quite a while. As a matter of fact, we went to the same high school together. Monique has credited me with getting her involved in community service events, community service projects, community service organizations. But I happen to know, in fact, it's because of her DNA and because of her heart that she's become involved in these. I did take her to her first Two Rivers Adequacy Regional Commission annual meeting and dinner event. And that may have started it all, but I think the seeds for that were already planted in Monique. And I only want to add to this that if you can get this many people out here on a beautiful sunny Sunday afternoon, you're going to be just fine.
Well, I was on my way down here with my sweetheart who's working around the corner planting some gardens, but she asked me, she said, what are you going to say when you get there? And before I could answer her, she interrupted me and said, brevity is the soul of wit. So I'm not going to talk for very long, but the one thing I want to say is when I first met Monique, which was not in grade school, we didn't go to the same high school or anything like that. It wasn't that long ago, but when I first met her, I kept seeing her everywhere. And so I started to think to myself, does Monique have a clone? It seemed like she was all over the place. And And then I started to get to know her better and get to know about what she was doing and what she was up to and what she was accomplishing. And all I could think to myself is, this is the sort of person that they need in Montpelier. Like, this is the sort of person someone who can get stuff done, who's got a plan, who's motivated, who gets up in the morning thinking about that list of things that she's got to get done and getting them done. And so I really hope that all of you, all of us, can do everything that we can to help send Monique to Montpelier. And not just Monique, but her clone too, because the clone will really be helpful. So if you've got $15, $25, if you've got some time to spend working on her campaign, all those things would be great. And for those of you who, just as an aside, for those of you who live in Washington, Orange, Corinth, or Vermont, I'm also running for the House too. So thank you. If you live in any of those towns, I'd love your vote, and I'll be coming to talk to you at some point later on this summer. But
Your ice cream social.
oh yeah, I'm having a kickoff for my campaign on June 30th in Corinth at the town hall from 7 to 8:30. So p.m., not a.m. None of this ice cream for breakfast thing, although I don't, not necessarily a good idea. But yes, 7 to 8:30 on June 30th, and if you're from one of those towns, I hope you'll come. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Monique. And is Sarah up next?
Yeah.
All right, and I'd like to introduce Representative Sarah Copeland-Hansis.
So when I made the decision to step away from my House seat and run for Secretary of State, as you can imagine, I was so relieved and so excited to learn that Monique wanted to run for the House. And so I am absolutely ecstatic to be here today. I know the challenges of being a state rep, because doing that job for 18 years, you learn about the ups and downs, you learn about the really hard things, and you learn about the really delightful and exciting things. And I know from watching Monique build this establishment, from watching her connect to different groups around our region, from watching how she stepped in to help during the pandemic and really acted as a facilitator so that we could all help our communities weather those initial months that stretched into years. And so knowing that skill set and her perseverance and her hard work, I know that she's going to be a great representative for Bradford Fairleigh and West Fairleigh, and I bet you do too. So I gotta tell you a little secret. Campaigns are crazy making. And Monique is used to running on a level of energy that frankly is stunning to me, and I don't know where she gets it. Does she sleep? Does she sleep? No, she doesn't sleep, that's why. But campaigns are crazy making. So I'm just gonna ask you all that in addition to making whatever donation you might be able to make or signing up to walk with Monique in the parade, just send her a little love once in a while, right? She's gonna have days where she's stressed. She's gonna have days where she has a grumpy conversation with somebody while she's door knocking. She's gonna need all of our love and support. And so Monique, you can always call, you can always text. I will be happy to remind you where the angry dogs are that you probably shouldn't door knock. But we are all here behind you, supporting you, lifting you up, and we're so excited for you to be our next state representative.
And vote for Sarah Copeland-Hansis for Secretary of State. Thanks everybody for coming out. It was a little bit nerve-wracking when we had to postpone it, and I got all these cancellation notices, and we're like, nobody's going to come, and that's not true. So thank you for being here. So I was joking with Ryan that this feels very much like an engagement or like wedding, and it's like all of my favorite people from my life, and so he was joking, you're getting engaged to politics. Yeah.
When Sarah asked me and told me that she had plans to run for higher office, I initially said no. And just like, then she said, well, just take some time to like, take some time to think about it. And I was at this time in my life where I'm chairing Erica's GMEDC board and Vital Communities, and I'm in line to be district governor of Rotary, and just had like all of these different pieces where I felt like my whole life Marvin and Nancy and everybody was joking that they were getting me involved in stuff and then joking that I was doing too much, and it felt very chaotic at times, but then also at times just like perfect, like everything was fitting. I was seeing gaps in things. I was connecting with all the people who, talking to one person who then thought of 5 people on these other things I was involved with that they needed to connect with, and everything was just feeling like, I'm gonna just ride this out for the next couple of years. And then I started asking people like, should I do this? Should I just stay the course of what I'm doing? And they're like, no, you have to do this. This is ridiculous. It's not a question. This is the next step for you. And so that just felt really nice. And everybody was just super supportive. No one was like, please don't do that. You're ruining everything. Yeah, that was great. And then. And I actually had just, where's Evan? Evan Carlson. We had just made a pact that we were gonna like run together in 2026 with a bunch of like other fellow young people, and we weren't ready. None of us were like ready yet. And so then like it was a couple weeks later. I'm like, so I'm running now. And it also, like, I just went through a MERGE, Democratic Training Program for Women in Vermont and all over the U.S. I felt in that class like I wasn't going in with an agenda like everyone else. I felt a little bit awkward in that, like, I wasn't like, this has to happen and this has to happen and this is my vision. I really just, I'm guided to my core by service to people, and so that's kind of what I'm going in with, is like, I want to listen to people. I want to connect people with each other. I love connecting people with resources. And I really just love talking to humans and making their lives better. So that's kind of what I'm going in with. It's like, I want to bring everybody I can with me, and their voices and their stories to the State House. So thank you for being here, and yeah.